Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here, you can gain access to perks such as a continuously updated sideboard guide for Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can do so by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/NevilleShootMTG. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Martin here, back with another Legacy video, and today I'm playing Bug Doomsday. Before I get to the video though, and the deck tech, I just want to give a shout out to my newest patrons, so El Ruto, HD Vinny, Leo, and ZTR. Thanks so much for joining the Patreon. I'm currently still working, putting the last touches on my Doomsday Primer that's going to be out very soon. I'll make a post on that on the social media things and probably link to or mention it in the video description as soon as that's ready. Okay, so onto the deck tech. I am trying out Quantum Riddler. So I got my hands on one of these. It's like pretty expensive right now on Magic Online. The good news is I think we only want one, but the bad news is I think we want one, so to speak. Now, like I had a pretty awesome case with this versus an Illush Reclaimer deck. It was Maverick, so like they had yeah. Anyways, it was a sort of Bayou Savannah deck, right? And they had Endurance. And what this card does is it lets us beat Endurance from a pretty low resource total, which is pretty sweet. So like I made a turn 2 Doomsday passing the turn with no cards in hand. I think I had Mulligan pretty low. And then you make a pile that has Riddler, and underneath it you put a Cycler and LED. And then the last two cards can be Thassa's Oracle and, for instance, a copy of Flusterstorm, which I'm playing. And so basically you have to survive the one turn, and you have to have the two lands still be in play for you to cast to warp cast the Riddler. So you do that. You draw the Street Wraith and the LED. And Street Wraith can also be Edge of Autumn. Like we're still going to be beating the Endurance. If yeah, well, I'll get to that. It depends on like how many lands or how many, like if we use a Petal, then we can't use Edge, blah blah blah. Because it all depends on how many cards end up in our graveyard. But yeah, so Quantum Riddler is warped in. It says draw a card, and then it looks at how many cards are in their hand. There are no cards in their hand at this point, and so it draws two. So it draws the Street Wraith and the LED. We play out the LED and cycle the Street Wraith. And again, the Riddler looks and says, "Hey, you have you have 0 cards in hand." So we draw the last two cards, which are Flusterstorm and Thassa, and we have 3 blue floating from the LED. So that is really sweet. And the way it beats Endurance is the Riddler itself counts as 2 devotion to blue. It's going to be in play. And so we'll have devotion 4. Our graveyard will be the Doomsday we cast, the Street Wraith we cycled, and the LED. So that's 3 cards. So even if they have Endurance, our deck is going to be 3 cards big, and we'll have devotion 4. And that's what I also meant with the Edge of Autumn. Like if we cycle Edge instead of Street Wraith, there'll be a land in our graveyard as well. But that still is 4 cards. But obviously, like if we don't have 2 lands but only 1, and we have to use a Petal, then we can't use Edge because then we get to 5 cards. Blah blah blah. Also, I mean, this is it's not an unbeatable pile, right? If they have removal for either Riddler or Oracle on top of an Endurance, then that beats that. But yeah, I think I was talking to Kai Sautari about this, and I think like it's not like this card is a game changer, but I think it is a tool in the toolbox that is probably pretty useful. Um, because like I've always maintained that if I could get my way, kind of, if I could design any card, then I would want to design a blue version of Edge of Autumn. Not, it wouldn't have to be the exact same thing, but like a blue card, the quality of which is comparable to Edge of Autumn, outside of the cycling, and then the cycling kind of being the same, either sacrificing a land or uh, some other like detriment, like I don't know, returning an island or something to your hand. I don't know. That probably will never happen, but like I really like that this is blue, this Riddler here. So it pitches to force. Obviously, that's why that's important. In case you didn't think about that. And then it's also just something you can play along the way. Like you can quote unquote cycle it for a blue and two, so you just get to draw a card. If it's somehow you end up later in the game and you don't have like you have 0 or 1 cards in hand, you draw this, then it draws 2 for 2 mana, and then it can just stay on layaway. Like it'll be exiled until like maybe if you get to a point in the game where you have a Spirit Arc Ritual and you want to play this, you can play it, and then it cantrips again. So it's not a bad card. Um, but then it has and I've only like the pile I just went through is just like I've only played a couple of leagues with this. I've not really like tested this thoroughly. There are probably other scenarios where this comes in quite handy. It also has the obvious downsides of being like blue, so it gets pyroblasted. It's a creature, so like if you build a pile with this as its central cog, and then they have a plow for it, then suddenly you're going to be drawing half as many cards, probably, per draw than what you were planning on. But we're here to try it out. I think personally, I was trying to make like to put this into terms where we can analyze it, and I was thinking, okay, so let's say that Doomsday cards in our, that can be played in Doomsday, score either 1, 2, or 3 points, and 3 is like the best cards. It's like Doomsday, it's Dark Ritual, it's Thassa's Oracle, it's probably like Force of Will and Brainstorm and whatever. And then 2 is stuff like Cavern of Souls, Street Wraith, Consider, Edge of Autumn, and then 1 is probably cards that are have probably been outclassed, but could still potentially see plays, like Ideas Unbound, Predict, Unearth, maybe Deep Analysis fits in there. I don't know. And I think like Quantum Riddler is either a high 1 or a 2, like middle 2. It's obviously not a 3, I think, or even close to that. But I think like this will either be bobbing its head above water and below water, sort of interchangeably, and sometimes it'll see play and sometimes it won't, or it will like cement itself as an actual constant, you know. So the list has to have a Thassa, it has to have like some cyclers and probably a Quantum Riddler, but we'll see. So the rest of this list is kind of close to what I've been playing lately. It's inspired by Luca Fasoli and his penchant for bug lists. I added a Flusterstorm because I think it's it's a pretty fine place to be, to like fluster Thoughtseizes, fluster reanimates, fluster entombs, fluster Coslex commands. A lot of good options for that, and it pairs well with the Riddler in the scenario I just described. Um, I'm playing 3 Personal Tutor and no Preordain. I know Luca likes Preordain. I'm trying this setup here, and then like what else? The sideboard is like good bug cards. A lot of it. I think like Consign of Memory is probably pretty good because of the Carnforge deck. Though I do kind of feel like we don't want to be boarding into like slow control because they'll have more threats than we'll have answers for. But I still think this is like pretty fine. Mistrized Village, I've kind of liked this is just this one of to bring in versus other blue combo decks and the odd blue control deck. Like one like in the spots where this is good, it is grotesquely good. But I mean, it's this is a 0 or a 1 of in the sideboard for me right now, and I'm kind of happy with it. But I think that's it. Let's go jump into League. All right, we're on the play for a number 1. Yeah, this is this is a keep, as they say. Let's try this. Mulligans to 6. We don't have a turn 1 win here because we would need another mana or a Brainstorm in hand. But this is still a send for sure. If we had an island here, I would be feeling like completely safe right now. But as it is, I am. I only have the one force. Okay, our Doomsday resolved. I think I am going to. I think I'm going to just make like a Cavern of Souls kind of pile. This is going to be taking it slow, but we're also like sitting on Force of Will and Days and stuff. Um, don't know what the opponent is playing. This feels somewhat safe. Okay, so how do we feel about this? We have a fetch land, so like we could draw Street Wraith, then we could cycle that into Misty Rainforest, play Misty Rainforest, and then we're drawing next turn. Our draw set will draw us the Cavern, our Edge of Autumn will draw us the Thassa, and then we can cycle Edge or sorry fetch the Misty for the island. So that's pretty good. Let's put Island on the bottom, and then Thassa, Cavern, Misty Rainforest, and then Street Wraith, and we'll pass. Thoughtseize. How rude. I don't think I'm gonna Force of Will this. If they're a combo deck, then they might just take the Force of Will here, and could potentially just like kill us. But that that risk aside, they might just take the Force and try next turn. I don't know. Okay, they take the Edge, so they want to slow us down here. Fair enough. We still can win next turn. We'll just have to cast Consider. So we'll see if we're gonna be wanting to do that. Brainstorm. Okay, I don't want to cast Consider right now because the card I'll get will be like the deck will be shuffled, so there's a 50-50 chance that I'll get the Thassa, and if they have a Thoughtseize and a Force of Will, then we just lose in that scenario. Do I force this? They took Edge, so they're going to take Consider here, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it'll matter, but I think I will just let them Thoughtseize me here, because if I force and then I Consider and then they force the Consider, I'll have shuffled my deck, and then I might draw the Thassa. I think this is just the safest route. I'm not sure what they are. They could be Dimir Tempo or Reanimator or whatever, but I don't think they can kill me with 4. It's going to be 5 cards in hand, 2 lands in 1 turn here. So I'm just going to pass here. If they have the 3rd Thoughtseize, I'll feel good about like what I just did here. Okay, they bring. This could be the Mirror. They've Thoughtseized me on both their first 2 turns. Tempo decks typically like will try and play a threat, but I mean obviously Thoughtseizing is within their wheelhouse. Ooh, Dark Ritual. Okay, Doomsday. Okay, I don't think that they could win here, but if their hand is Cycler, LED, Thassa, and not LED. Well, I guess LED, but like Cycler, and it could be a Lotus Petal, and then Thassa or Cavern of Souls. I could then I would have to Force of Will the thing, the Lotus Petal or the LED. I think I'm just gonna play it safe here and force this. And if they force back, they'll only have 1 card, and then it's fine. Okay, looks like Force is resolving. Alright, so we'll draw Thassa, and then we'll fetch, and barring some combination of cards I can't, like, come up with right here, we will win. Oh, they had the Force. Force pitch days. Alright, sweet. Opponent says GG. Yeah, GG opponent. Alright, sweet. So we're up against Doomsday. I like the Consigned to Memory. I like the Force of Negation. I like the Mistrise Village. I like a lot of stuff here, to be honest. I like Sholdred. I kind of hope they aren't playing creatures, But this is a lot of stuff to bring in. This is like 12, no, 11 cards. So I think we can cut the island. I think we can cut the personal tutors because we're bringing in 2 copies of Sheoldred, so we're sort of staying threat dense. This is 24 blue cards right now, but I think we're going to cut Consider. So it's 23. We'll cut Lion's Eye Diamond, and we'll shave 1 each of the cyclers. We're also boarding in 2 Carpet Flowers, so I don't mind boarding out a couple of like mana accelerants here. So I'll cut out a Lotus Petal and a Cabal Ritual. And so we need to cut one more thing. Do we need the Jace? Is a question here. Like they could be on Consigned Memory. I have begun to feel a little bit naked without Jace, but I think maybe it's okay. We'll see. If we end up eating a consign, then we'll know for next game. And we're on 22 blue cards, so that's pretty good. I will keep this hand. It is a little bit speculative, and if they send it on turn 1, then I have to Hail Mary Street Wraith and hope to hit one of my 6 forces, but I don't think I would want to mulligan this. They start off with a Street Wraith cycling. Okay. They probably take the Brainstorm here, because my hand is a lot of air. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so I am going to cast Ponder here. And they daze my Ponder, okay. And I think I play out my Petal here. There is a world where we want to Street Wraith and hit, like, Veil of Summer. That was an aggressive use of a daze. They know my hand, so they... Okay, now they Ponder. What are all these white border versions of the cards? I've seen those before. And they do not shuffle. Okay. Can I draw a daze? I draw Dark Ritual. Okay. Tell you what, I am actually going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary here, and I'm going to get the Survey Land. Because if I... Oh, and there's a Doomsday. Alright. You know what? I am going to keep this on top, and I'm going to cast Dark Ritual Doomsday. And if they force it, then I have Doomsday coming next turn. But they didn't force it. Okay. Camera Souls. Flusterstorm. So this is a spot where we could actually use the Quantum Riddler here, but I am very unsure about what the pile would look like. Let's see. So I have 3 mana right now. That could become 4 with Misty Rainforest, but then I don't have, you know, then I don't have the my land drop. All right. I also boarded out my LED. So what does that mean? Maybe it just means we can like get a lot of cards in hand and then pass the turn again. I don't think I need the second Petal that I'm trying to line up here. So what would that be? Could also make it a Thoughtseize? I don't know. Let's see. So we draw Quantum Riddler. We play our Misty Rainforest. We warp cast the Riddler. And that draws us a Flusterstorm and Thoughtseize. And then the Riddler dies. Then the next turn we have a Cycler plus our draw steps, draw the remaining cards. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this. I'm not getting a land here, which is a little bit awkward. So let's put Thassa on the bottom, and then Flusterstorm, and then Riddler and Cavern. Yeah, let's try that. If they Thoughtseize me, that's a little bit annoying. Then I could cycle the Street Wraith. Okay, they Brainstorm. If I cycle Street Wraith, then I draw... No, then I draw Riddler. We don't want to lose the Riddler. So I'm going to play this land. Oops, and I'm going to warp out the Riddler. And then we'll see if they want to force that. And they do. Okay, that's fair. And I believe my next card is Cavern of Souls, so I'm just going to pass here. Oh, what was pitched? Jace, okay. They surveil a flooded strand into the graveyard. Okay, let's go. Barrowgoyf. Um, well, I mean, I'm not going to do anything about that, but yeah, that's fine. I think I might just shuffle here and then try to win. If then Thassa's Oracle is in the top couple of cards, top 2 cards, then I think I win. Well, that's not it. Can't. There is a creature here, so Cycling Street Wraith is not going to grow this. If I crack this petal, it will. I'll be at 6. If they get Artifact, it becomes a 5. I don't think they can make this a 6, so let's see if we can get lucky here. Oh, we don't. Okay. And now I'm actually dead if Thassa's the bottom card. Well, I mean, not now. That was the case all along. Yeah, Ponder resolves. Ponder doesn't shuffle. If they have Bowmasters here, then they don't win. But that didn't happen. Come on, 50-50. Okay. We lose. I don't think I am going to change anything really. Sideboard wise, maybe that's not true. Maybe I want like an Abrupt Decay or a Long Goodbye or both for a potential like as removal. Yeah, I think maybe I do. Maybe I'll board 1 Force of Negation and 1 Consign to Memory. Like I don't know how many force how many Doomsdays they're even running, like, or how central that is for their plan. Sometimes I board out all the Doomsday stuff. We did see Dark Ritual and Edge of Autumn, I think, on that Barrowboy flip, so they probably still have Doomsday. Oof. Shieldred and Cavern of Souls. It's very appealing, but I would need another land, so I'm gonna mulligan this. I'm sorry if you can hear some noise. I have an open window and someone is riding a motorcycle past it here. Okay, I'm gonna keep this, and I'm going to get rid of what? The Lotus Petal, maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna try that. And then I'm going to... I don't want to play out the carpet on... Like, playing carpet on turn 1 on the play is sometimes not ideal because that gives your opponent the chance to play around it. It's almost always better to come down after they have an island out. But I'm gonna just float an Underground Sea here. Again, they lead with a Street Wraith cycle, and I think I do play out my my carpet here. Probably off Tropical Island. I know I want to make triple black, but I think I have a lot of blue single like blue mana symbols in my hand, and I do kind of want to be able to maybe be able to cast both like 2 blue spells on my opponent's turn, for instance. Another Daze. Okay, I'm not gonna trigger this. I'm gonna cast Brainstorm off of Underground Sea, sort of trying to show that's a lot of that card. Alright, let's put back Daze and I don't know. Yeah, Daze and Doomsday. And then we'll pass. Okay, they're fetching. Is there a basic swamp in that list? There is. Oh, certainly not a basic plains. No, okay. So they are letting it rip here. Is this Doomsday? I think it's just safer to daze this, if I'm being completely honest. And that was dazed. Okay, and now I get to cast Doomsday. Now I wish I'd stacked my daze on top. The reason I didn't was like in case they thought seized me and then tapped out. Alright, I'm gonna make triple black here, and now I'm gonna cast Doomsday. Force of Negation, pitching, consider. I think I will daze here. Never know if the daze is going to be live ever again. And they have another force. Okay. So that pitches Brainstorm. So now we have to hope they don't Thoughtseize me right now. And they scryed to the top, or surveil to the top. So I don't think I won't be shrinking the Barrel Wave here by removing my graveyard, because like everything else, they have it all as well. All right. Again, we find ourselves like potentially wanting to use Riddler here, because it's the only way to draw more than one card. And I am a little bit of a scaredy cat in terms of trying to uh maybe not. Maybe I'm supposed to what, abrupt decay the Barrowgoyf and take off some pressure. Because I mean, what happens here? I go to 9. They have a 4/5. If they just surveilled a Force of Will to the top, and then Force of Will my Riddler, then I'm sort of shit out of luck. But Force of Will is always going to get me here, I think, unless I take Abrupt Decay. But then if I take Abrupt Decay and they have um, like another Barrowgoyf, I don't know. All right, let's try the Riddler here. It means that I have to like empty my hand next turn, or at least like get one card out of my hand. And Consign to Memory works because I can stifle, quote unquote, their Barrowglyph trigger. I'll have plenty of mana because of the carpet. Maybe they'll even like maybe they have a land and then they draw force, and then the Daze is live. Okay, so how would this work? I would draw the Riddler. I would cast the Riddler. It would draw me, I think, just Flusterstorm and Edge, and then I would Edge into Thassa. Yeah, depending on what happens here, I don't think I can get to the bottom of the pile. Um, I mean, I could, then I would need to make Cavern something else. And maybe that's fine because we'll have the Flusterstorm. Let's say Flusterstorm, if we were to go Quantum is 1, and then Thassa is 2, Fluster's 3, they could just pay for the Flusterstorm. Yeah, no, I think, let's see, I'll have 3 blue mana, 4, 5, 6 blue mana, Quantum is 2, Thassa is 4. So I could like add a blue cantrip, but then it would be instead of the Cavern of Souls. No, this is fine. Alright, so we'll put Cavern on the bottom, then Thassa, then Quantum, Fluster, and or Edge, Fluster, Quantum. Okay. So they know the top card of their deck. They kept that with the Consign, or with the Undercity Sewers. Opponent is being very friendly in the chat. Yeah, these are some, I think it's pretty tense games. I like this little song and dance of the Doomsday Mirror sometimes. All right, let's see. Here comes the attack, and I am going to stifle the trigger. Mostly just to get this Consign out of my hand. And I think, do I want to give them a chance to interact with this? I could replicate it, but I would actually prefer, like, if they have something like, I don't know, like a Flusterstorm or something. I think it's okay. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna pay 1 here. I'm just gonna use this one time. Alright, they didn't play a land, so let's see. Did I blow it here? Let's make 3 blue. Casting this for its warp cost. Oh no! They have Dark Ritual Force? Alright, GG's opponent. Yeah, opponent saying they wanted to know how good village is, like the Mistrise Village. I think it would have been good in this matchup, but it just didn't come up. All right, on to round number 2. All right, on the play again for round number 2. Let us try this for science. Opponent mulligans to 6. It looks like they found 6 they like. I'm just gonna lead on Underground Sea here. Force of Will, Personal Tutor. Yeah, this kind of works. This is like a turn 3 Doomsday on the natural with Force backup. against an Urza Saga opponent with Mishra's Bauble. So is that 8 cast probably? All the baubles. It might be 8 cast Painter, in which case there's going to be a Grindstone popping out of this. And they get Emery, sure. It's not my fight. And that's that new thing. Pinnacle, something or other. So I'm going to cast Personal Tutor, and I think we can, well, we can maybe beat a Grindstone. It depends on when they decide to use it. But let's start off with this. I mean, hopefully they don't get to Grindstone me right now, but because then they can just, like, basically shuffle my deck. They're replaying their Bauble. They might also just be able to kill me with a massive, like, with 2 big constructs if they have Lava Spur Boots. So I'll be at 9 if they make a, let's see, a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 4/4, and then they make another one then it's a 5/5, and they get an artifact, it's a 6/6. Then they would need to cast 2 more spells, 2 more artifacts rather. But if they have the Lava Spur Boots, then I guess I'm just dead. I think I still cast the Doomsday here. I don't think my life is going to get easier if I wait. They have Force. That means I'll be at 7 instead of 8. That's pretty bad. There's nothing in the graveyard that can grow a construct right now because Mox Opal cancels out Mox Opal. Okay, so Colossus Oracle. I don't think I can afford to put Street Wraith in my deck. I'll be at 7. They are showing me a 4. They're showing me a 6/6 right now, right? So 3 artifacts, 4 with the construct they're about to make, 5 with the next construct, and then 6 with what they tutor up. So they would actually just need to also have an extra artifact. So in all likelihood, we lose here, but... So do I play around removal, or do I play around a counterspell? I think I play around removal, or rather, I play around the counterspell and into removal. Because that means not putting, like, Consider on the stack here, but just cycling Edge of Autumn twice. If they have Pithing Needle and they name Edge of Autumn, then we just lose. And then I hide my Jason Veil so they don't see them. Alright, Jason Veil on the bottom, Thassa, and then double Edge. I'm going to play my Lines at Diamond, hopefully make them potentially think about that. Oh, and I completely forgot to play around Grindstone here. Yeah, let's see. Oh, what am I saying? I'm still at 8. I thought I went to 7. So they need 2 artifacts. That's actually pretty big. And they are making Construct. That means they don't have, I think that means they don't have Grindstone. But let's see. If they have Lava Spur Boots, then I'm just smoked anyways. And they do. Disappointing. Okay. Rough start here. So I think I want Shieldred. I think I want Mysterized Village. I don't know about Consign in Memory. Like, they are an artifact deck, but most of their artifacts are, like, not something I would want to counter. Like, the actual spells I want to counter would be Emery and their own forces, probably. Some removal spells, maybe. The problem about, like, becoming or trying to win with creatures versus a deck like that is the card Urza Saga. Maybe only 1 extra Veil of Summer here. Board out a couple of Personal Tutors and a couple of Cyclers. Maybe the 3rd Personal Tutor as well. Not sure the Quantum Riddler really does stuff here. That takes me down to 19 cards. 19 blue cards, I mean. That's probably still okay. Maybe we keep in the Riddler actually as a blue card and as a utility card, and we board out a land. I boarded in a land, and like having 18 lands is a little bit much. Yeah, and this is a matchup where they don't mess with our lands, basically. Okay, we choose to be on the play. I don't think this hand is good enough. This hand is good enough. Let's get rid of a Doomsday here. If they have double force, then it's kind of sad times. They are a deck that plays probably like as many as 8 forces post board, so it wouldn't be completely unreasonable for them to have 2. They have 1 at least. And that just draws the concession. Interesting. Alright, did not expect that. Do we want to do anything differently here? Probably not. Let's just, yeah, let's resubmit. It's funny in a situation like that, where like on their side they just got like whatever fed up with getting forced back, and maybe the rest of their hand didn't do a lot. But like from my side, I was like I still felt like I had a lot of work to do, even if Doomsday resolves there, because you just don't know exactly what you're like going to have to beat. And if they have like an Orisa Saga and Ancient Tomb in their opener, then I can't really just be taking forever, right? All right, I think I have to keep this. It kind of sucks if they have turn one Chalice for one. They're mulliganing to 6. If they have turn one Chalice for one, I maybe I need to just force it. But then the Mysterized Village is interesting. Well, don't like that for me. Turn one Saga, Mox Opal, sure. Urza's Bauble, and now Mox Opal is on. They might have Metallic Rebuke, Disruptor Flute. I don't think so. Just the Ponder. Like, Disruptor Flute is not unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a little bit of a problem this early in the game. I'm gonna get Tropical Island, and then the next fetch land might get Undercity Sewers. There's Doomsday. Sweet. Tormod's Crypt. Okay. Tormod's Crypt does not make a construct. Thoughtcast. Ugh. Okay. They have 1 card in hand. Okay, so they played the Soporific Springs tapped, so they don't have. I don't think they have anything here that can interact with me, right? They don't have Metallic Rebuke, or they would have played that untapped. I think I'm just going to cast Doomsday here. Alright, let's see. If I ponder right now and draw LED, say, and then I draw Cycler, I am just short of being able to play Jace uncounterably, or am I? Hang on. Let me just see. So next turn I draw Ponder becomes the LED that's in my hand. So I will draw my card next turn. It'll be the 4th card in my hand. Let's say it's a Lotus Petal. So I play out my LED, my Lotus Petal, and then my hand will be Mysterized Village and Quantum Riddler. And so I will tap out for Quantum Riddler. And then if they have Force of Will, I could also I'm just trying to see if I can make Jace uncounterable. Alright, let's see here. So I ponder right now, I draw LED. Then draw for turn, it's Lotus Petal. I play Lotus Petal LED. I cast the Riddler. Riddler draws 2 cards. It's Jace and Flusterstorm. I sack the LED in response. So I have 3 mana here, 4 with Lotus Petal, 7 with Lion's Eye Diamond, 5 post Riddler. Then I need another mana, right? Because I effectively need 6 mana to make Riddler, not Riddler, Jace uncounterable. Okay, let's try this again. So play Petal, play LED next turn. Yeah, I think this should work. Again, if they counter the Riddler, I could also just cast the Riddler right now. Yeah, I should cast the Riddler right now. Yeah, for sure. So we'll draw. No, hang on. If I, I'm sorry. I'm just getting completely knocked over here. I can play Riddler now, because if I do, then I won't have a way to like draw a card and sack LED at the same time to put Jace in my hand with mana floating. Yeah, maybe that was a little bit of a punt. All right. The question is, if I am supposed to play out my LED right now or not. I don't think it matters. I don't think I can't play around Mindbreak Trap anyways, which would be the only reason I think really to do that. The other reason being if they have suddenly somehow have a chalice for 0, but I'm not expecting that. It looks like they're making a friend here. Alright, and here comes the search. Don't think there was any Pithing Needle target for them to name here. Oh, damn. I have again, I think, painted myself in a little bit of a corner here where I still lose to Force of Will because I basically have to play out my hand here. Because I need to sack LED with Quantum Riddler on the stack. That means I will have to show them my Misrise Village. Alright, I'm going to warp this. We'll see if they Force of Will it. Alright, this is in. So now I have to sack LED. Alright, I'll play out my Petal here. They could counter this, but I mean, then they've used their counter spell. And now we make Jace uncounterable. And they concede. Okay, so we got there sort of by hook and by crook at the end of it. Alright, 1 and 1. Let's go for round number 2. Or 3, rather. Alright, on the draw for round number 3, I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's a little bit, you know, it has both Thassa's Oracle and Edge of Autumn, which are not amazing cards to have in your opening hand most of the time, but I think it's still a you know, defendable. Tropical Island Green Man. Ooh, it's a Tropical Island lands deck. Interesting. Looks like we will eventually be saga'd. Okay. Please don't have Sphere Resistance. Sylvan Library. Holy moly. What? Talk about a turn 1 from the opponent. Not like this Sylvan Library is going to be a problem. If we can find Doomsday. Well, I'm actually gonna Undercity Sewers here. There is a personal tutor. Oi, oi, oi. I really don't know if we'll have the time for this, but let's, I'm gonna put it on top. It all depends if, between the 1 card in our opponent's hand and the 3 cards that we're gonna see now, if there's a Wasteland, then it's a little bit rough. They don't know what we're at, though, or what we're up to, so I'm not sure if they can just, like, as soon as the opponent with the Sylvan Library realizes they're up against a combo deck, they will take 8 damage every time. I was going to say the opponent can't know what we're doing, necessarily, but they took 8 anyways. There is a Wasteland, of course. So what's the thing here? Like, I feel like I probably need the Edge of Autumn to play the game, or like because I need to win on 1 turn here. Yeah, I'm gonna save my Edge of Autumn, but I think we're gonna lose here. I don't think our hand could not keep up with this. Let's see what if they looked us up and name a cycler here, and that's why they used to take 8. Okay, no, polluted delta. That's fair enough. So let's see here. I fetch to 19. They make a 3/3. It then instantly becomes a 5/5 and has a friend. So I take 5. I go to 14, and then I take another. They can grow again because of the second saga. So I'll take another, at minimum, another 12. So that's 17 points of damage. So I'm not sure we'll have time to really do anything here. Plus, I mean, what am I really hoping for? If I personal tutor for Doomsday now off of, like, I have to fetch Basic Island probably. And even if I count on them not having another Wasteland and I go for Underground Sea, I'm not playing Deep Analysis, so I can't win. Okay. I think I'm going to pass here. I am also just at a point where it might be worth it for me to not let them know what I'm playing here. Here comes the Sylvan Library trigger. Are they gonna trade life for cards again? They kept 1 extra card. So what happens here? There is a chance that, like, I fetch and cast Consider, and then, like, the top 2 cards of our deck after the fetch are like Doomsday plus land or Petal, And that would actually let us try and win. And they're loaming, okay. Rather than making a second construct. Also, 4 of our lands are out, like the polluted deltas. Somehow, I'm only taking 4 right now, but I think I still will just be taking so much more next turn. The Tabernacle, playing that out is interesting. Alright. Consider, show me a good one. Show me a Doomsday. Here is Consider. Whee! Doomsday. Put it on top. Right on the tippity top. And a mana source? No! Yeah. Let's see. Will I be at... Will they be able to deal me 14? Well, there's 10 damage. It's going to be 12 momentarily. Discarding the Veil here. They have to pay for these, though. Having the Oracle in hand is also just a little bit awkward here. Oh, wow. They're paying for their constructs with the Chapter 2 saga here. I guess that's not really that important. Okay, they dredge the loam. Alright, let's see if they can kill me here. They need 3 more artifacts for that to happen. One more we know is coming. Effectively, they only need 2 more artifacts, because then I would be at 1 and no longer able to Doomsday. Lava Spur Boots. Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. They can make a friend. But can they equip as well? Yeah, with the Mox Diamond. Yep. Okay. Alright, fine. We go to game number 2. Oh, there was a land if we had gotten another turn, but we didn't, so here we are. So they have access to blue here, which is interesting. It makes me think they probably have Consign to Memory. I think Force of Negation is good. I don't think there's a lot more that I want. Probably Abrupt Decay is also pretty good to like kill a Sphere of Resistance. Maybe Consign to Memory for Sphere as well. Consign can also like stifle an Endurance trigger. But then what are we cutting here? Well, we're definitely cutting the Veil of Summer. Yeah, cut the Veil. I don't think I'll be using Lion's Eye Diamond because I think I will have to respect them. Well, I guess maybe I do want Lion's Eye Diamond for the Riddler pile. I think Flusterstorm can maybe go. And maybe I don't want Force. I'll board out a Force of Negation, and that will become a Thoughtseize. That will be switch places with Thoughtseize if there is a game 3. Oh, I really am unsure about what I want to cut here. Maybe I'll cut the Consign. Like, consigning a Sphere of Resistance would be nice. Consigning, I'm not sure what other, like, aside from the potential Endurance, which we probably can beat somehow with the Riddler. I'm not sure what I'd be consigning. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. We're a little bit concerned about a potential turn 1 Wasteland. But then we have the Cyclers to hopefully dig us towards another land. Okay, let's grab the Doomsday. Or rather, place Doomsday on top of our deck. Let's see if the opponent has the Nutso turn from before. I guess I'm okay just dazing this. Because I know I won't have another land drop next turn. And this is like... This means they won't be able to get a second like a Wasteland. So yeah, I actually like this a lot. So let's Doomsday. And now a great question, which is, how do we want to proceed here? I think we could go, like, we could put a pedal on top. All right. Where was I? So if we put the top off our deck, if that is a Lotus Petal, and then the next card is a Lion's Eye Diamond, and then we have Jace. and then let's say basic island and what, a cycler. So that if they wasteland us, then we still get to play the game. If they, some things can happen that will kind of can mess us up here. Chief of which would be Boseiju on our. Now Boseiju on this land doesn't matter. Wasteland also doesn't matter. Sphere of Resistance would matter. A counter spell on Jace would matter, like a red elemental blast or something. Yeah, I think I'm gonna forego a blue card here, and I'm playing around. I'm playing around the potential wasteland here by making the pile as such. We will have. The only question is, should I try and, because we can beat a sphere of resistance if they don't, like, we can beat a sphere of resistance by playing out the petal right now. And then if we play out the petal right now, and then we lose if they have both a wasteland and a way to kill the petal. But I think I actually like that. Oh, but now we lose to the wasteland anyways because I'm an idiot. Because Edge of Autumn. Yeah. Oh, I just punted. Well, we'll see. It's lands. They never not have the wasteland. Oh goodness, that was such a punt. So what happened is I decided to play out my petal to play around a sphere of resistance. Okay, that's not a wasteland, so that's good. Yep, we just lost. God damn it. How would I? Maybe. All right. So basically, we can. We haven't lost yet. So, but now it's up to the gods of RNG. All right. I'm going to accept this and use the ability. This is going to put Island into play, but now we need Jace to be beneath Lines of Diamond, basically. Yeah. We can't draw Jace right now. If we do that, we lose. So it's like a 1 in 3. I can't do the math. And they kill my Lotus Petal. That is fine. Street Wraith. Okay. I mean, I think we just have to take our medicine. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no point in waiting a turn. The damage is done or it's not done, you know? So either Jace is the next card and we lose, or LED is and we win. Or, you know, I assume we win. Let's see. So let's cycle the Street Wraith. Yes, we get lucky. Alright. This beats Mindbreak Trap. Jace is going to be our second spell. And Endurance still, like, postpones the win here. So I think Force of Negation number 2 can come in. And Thoughtseize number 2 can go out. And what else? Anything else? I think probably not. Man, lands is such a hateful deck. It's funny. I've never played lands, not once. I've played Legacy for like 13 years. Can we keep this hand? It's close. On the play, I would keep this, but I think I'm gonna mulligan. All right, I'll keep this hand. And I'll put away. Oh, it's close. I'll put away Misty Rainforest. I could turn 1 Doomsday here, but it's going to cost me my whole hand and the land. But let's see. If opponent has Sphere Resistance, that's probably my biggest concern here. Sylvan Library is also pretty bad for us. Force of Will. Okay. Alright. Let's pass. And here is what I was talking about at the beginning. Like, they're never not going to just immediately take 8 life here to get the 2 extra cards. Exploration, okay. And Dark Depths. Okay. So they have the win. Cool beans. So I need to find a dark ritual, basically. Oh, hang on, no. No. They don't have the win, right? They're short of mana right now to actually make Merit Lodge. I'm gonna put Consider into the graveyard. Dark Ritual. Okay, days. Okay, well, let's brainstorm. And there's another Doomsday. How long can we go on without being wastelanded is the question. So there is a world where we put back Doomsday and then cycle Edge of Autumn into it and sack LED. That would leave us with one land and one Lotus Petal. And not a lot going on. Alternatively, we try to wait one turn here. Let's maybe do that. Let's put back Doomsday and not sure what I'm force of willing here, to be honest. So let's put back that. Yeah. And then we pass. Keep 2 cards. Another exploration. There's a wasteland. Do I cycle the edge here? No. Alright, well, it's all or nothing now. I probably can't even afford to fetch here, in case they have like crop rotation for a wasteland. It also is not going to matter, because I'm going to be sacking my hand. How's this going to work out? I'm going to have 3 mana floating and the Edge of Autumn to cycle to draw a card. Yeah, I don't think I can do this, unfortunately, if they have anything. I have all my 4 cyclers. My life total is flush, so that's not a problem. I could go for the Riddler. So I would cycle, I would play the Riddler, 4 cards left in the deck, 1 mana floating. I would draw I would draw 2 cards, but the LED is gone. I would have 1 mana available, so I would draw like a Lotus Petal and a Street Wraith, and there would be 2 cards left, and those 2 cards would have to be Thassa's Oracle and 1 card that can't cost any mana. Oh, what do I still have here? Alternatively, how would that work? No, well, so we have to cast Doomsday because our opponent is threatening a lethal attack on us. Maybe I'm lucky and they do something right now that I can force of will. We get Underground Sea and another Underground Sea. Alright, here's Doomsday. I think the most likely thing for them to have is, unfortunately, is Endurance. And we need the Lion's Eye Diamond to be in our graveyard right now, or in our deck. Well, obviously we need it in our hand right now to do anything, but the problem is, because of how Magic works, we won't be able to put it in our... Oh, hang on. Could we do something else? What if I cycle Edge? No, because I'm sacking my hand. I was going to say I could cycle into a Brainstorm, and then Brainstorm and put like 2 petals and a Jace and then blah blah blah. But that's not going to work. Is there any pile here that beats Endurance, folks? Oh, hang on, wait. Does the Riddler still do it? Because I forget about the Devotion. So, unfortunately, our graveyard is going to have all of these cards that are in our hand right now. So that's 4 plus 5 from Doomsday. So no, Riddler and Thassa won't beat Endurance here. If I had like, oh, you know what? I should have maybe countered the second exploration with. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Hey, how about that? That's a good learning curve here. Us having this Daze and Force of Will in our hand right now is actively losing us the game versus endurance. And was this the last turn of the last turn the opponent had? They cast an exploration. If I forced that, or even dazed it, I think it would have been a different result. No, not. I needed to force. All right. Well, fuck it. I don't think I can really do anything here, and I'm also really spending too much time. So I've made my land drop, so it has to be pedal. Tell you what, I will add another cycler as the last card, because that's the card that's going to be in my hand. And then maybe, like, so they're going to be. Doomsday is going to be in our graveyard, and these 4 cards will be there as well. That's 5. Then the 1 Street Wraith and 1 Petal, 6, 7. But 3 of those cards, or 2 of them, are going to be cyclers. So let's say deck becomes 6 cards big. If both top cards are the 2 cyclers, the Edge of Autumn and the first Street Wraith, and I cycle into that, then I could actually beat the endurance, I think. Alright, well, let's see. I could very easily have missed something here or miscalculated. Alright, so we want Thassa and Street Wraith to be the 2 bottom cards. And then we just need Riddler to be the first card. Alright, sorry opponent. If you're watching this, really sorry I took so long. Oh, I forgot about the land that's going to be in here as well from Edge of Autumn. Then I don't think my little, calculation works from before. Alright, they're doing something here. I would love it if they endurance me right now. Oh, is this consigned to memory? I didn't even think about that. That's, of course, also something we probably have to beat. Oh, gosh. So that's it, right? No. But it's kind of it. Do I get anything out of dazing this? I don't think so. I would untap a land and lose daze. Alright. You got it. It's countered. It's countered no matter what, but I was just wondering if I could achieve something from that. Alright, well, I mean, that's good in the sense that we would have lost to that if we had just gone through with our pile. But I think we lose now. We lose to a wasteland. And we lose anyways if they just, choose to make Merit Lodge at their leisure. Well, they're doing something. Is this Boseiju? Oh, Life from the Loam. And Thespian Stage is tapped. Interesting. Well, I'm going to force that. The problem is they'll have the Wasteland next turn. Oh, and I didn't put a land in here, right? Nope, I did not. So that's it. Alright, GG's. Alright, on the draw for round number 2. Round number 4. Gonna keep this very exciting hand, especially if I were on the play. Alright, very happy to not get Thoughtseize on turn 1. And a second blue card is amazing. And I think I'm gonna Cabal Ritual here as well. Just to play around a daze if I need to fluster. Not that Bloodstained Mire decks that often play daze, but like they do on occasion. Okay, let's get a Cavern. Let's get some cycling goodness here. We'll put a fetch land and basic island in there so we don't lose to single wasteland. No, no, no. I can't believe I did that. It's the I can't believe I did that play. All right, so what happened, folks, is that I forgot to put Thassa in there. Well, now we can never lose another mana source or the Jace in our hand if we want to win. And we need 2 turns because we need 2 land drops here. Incredible. Yep, that is what happens. That is what happens. Let's just go ahead and make the 2 top cards lands, and we'll pass. And hope we never have to. Well, I'm glad no one's watching, right? They didn't do anything in the end of turn. Interesting. Wow. Opponent. Thank you, opponent, for letting me get off with that horrible mistake. So what do we get? How do we play against this Bloodstained Mire deck? Do we play against it as though it is Reanimator, Grixis Control, or Dimir Tempo? I think those are the most likely. I think we want some Veils of Summer. I'm not sure about Carpet, maybe one Carpet. If it's Reanimator, we obviously want a Gravedigger's Cage, but that feels kind of iffy, bringing in just completely in the dark. Bringing in Shieldred if it is Reanimator is a pretty big risk, but maybe I'll bring in one. I'll board out a couple of Personal Tutors and one of each Cycler, and let's try this. Let's keep this and see if our Shieldred gets turn 1 discarded and YOLO, whatever, reanimated. Fuck. Badlands. Makes me think it might be like black-red reanimator. I suppose either that or what? Or like some storm combo. Yep, there's Shieldred. Please don't have reanimate. The brainstorm is good. It lets us at least have a decent shot at finding a force. Ancient Tomb, what the hell? This is goblins? Oh. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That probably means they have access to Magus of the Moon, whatever this deck is. Black Red Stompy, but I still want to get a Surveil land going here. Hey. Well, that was about as good as it gets. So let's cast Doomsday. And what do we want to do about this? The only thing I'm worried about right now is Mindbreak Trap. That is, however, a card that I don't know that I can play around. This was my second spell. I could brainstorm into a Thoughtseize, but then if I Thoughtseize, I have no more mana. Like if I brainstorm into Thoughtseize, Petal, X, and then I put back X and Consider, then I am stuck. I could try something with Riddler that puts more cards in our hand to see if, like, but still, if they just Mindbreak Trap the Riddler, then it's over. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here debating. My opponent chose to concede the game. Okay, sorry, opponent. I was slow, I suppose, but I guess they didn't have anything. All right, on to the final round. All right, we are on the draw for the final round. Positive record on the line. I'm going to keep this turn 1 Doomsday and see what happens. The thing I would like to see the least is a Thoughtseize here, which isn't known to come out of Tropical Island. Tameo, okay. That does cause me a little bit of concern. This is a blue deck that could have Daze. But they would need to have Daze plus Force of Will. And I am just going to go for it here. I'll pitch the Personal Tutor if there's a fight here. But there's just not a fight. Sweet. I'm not going to try and win next turn because that would have to involve LED. But I don't think I need to. Alright, so let's see here. Again. Here I am not putting in Thassa's Oracle. What the hell? I think maybe I'm losing it. Put away the Street Wraith. No, actually, do we think a Street Wraith or Edge is more important here? I think maybe being able to pick up the island with Daze is better than having to cycle it, like sack it to the Edge of Autumn. If I get Wastelanded here, who knows? Probably neither will be super important. But let's see here. Okay, so I draw the Misty Rainforest, and then I draw Street Wraith. Maybe no, I'm gonna draw Misty Rainforest, fetch Island, cast Brainstorm next turn, and then I'll have Force plus Daze. Okay, Island on the bottom, then Thassa, then Cavern, and there we go. Lorien revealed. Okay. So that's typically not in tempo decks. Tundra. Okay. So this could be Beanstalk. That's probably what I'm most inclined to believe. It could be Nadu. And I think I'm going to do what I'm going to do on their turn. It gives them a chance to cycle the clue and draw a card here. But like if they have something like a Stifler or something, I would want it to happen here, or if they want to spell pierce me or whatever. But I was just allowed to do what I needed to do here. All right. So something like a dress down is something a deck with Tropical Island and Tundra could potentially play here. They didn't have a third land drop, so now my Daze is live on a dress down. Let's name Wizard. Was an Edge of Autumn. Let's cycle the Street Wraith. We draw the Thassa. And here's Thassa. They had the dress down. Wow, okay. Do they also have double force here? I cast Daze. Dress down was dazed. Endurance. Okay. I'll force. Wow, we got there. Wow, dress down plus endurance. Feels good, man. Okay, so versus a deck like this, I would prefer not to have Shieldred because she is just. I would like to blank their plows for the most part. The Carpet of Flowers and Veil of Summer are really good. The Mistrise Village is very, very good. And then Abrupt Decay is fine. It does play a little bit into like Veil of Summer, which would suck. Same with Long Goodbye. I think maybe having one of these is enough. And I will cut a couple of cyclers. I'll cut the Consider. I don't think we need to make a pile with Consider here, but we will keep in LED. I'll cut a Petal. I'll cut a Personal Tutor and a Daze, I think. So 20 blue cards. Wow, my computer is just lagging like crazy. And now my dog is barking. I hope that doesn't come through too much. I'm in the next room here, but he got all excited about something. Oof, this is no good. All lands and rituals. And a Petal. Let's mulligan. Oh, wow. No, I can't keep this. I'll keep this. I'll get rid of the Cavern of Souls. And I think it's the Personal Tutor. Like, Personal Tutor is card disadvantage. I don't think I can go down another card. Oh, that was a very good draw. I'm going to cast or fetch Underground Sea and cast Ponder. They could be a Wasteland deck. I don't think we can afford to care about that. That was good. I will draw Brainstorm next turn and put Misty Rainforest into my hand. I think at this point I'm mostly concerned that they are a Nadu deck, like that they were a combo deck, but I don't think a Nadu deck can play like Endurance and Dress Down in the main deck. Do I Ponder here? The next card down is a Street Wraith. I think I do cast Ponder. Mistrise Village. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, let's grab that. And we pass the turn. Uro, okay. Let's hope they don't have a Wasteland. They didn't put in a land. Okay. I'm going to take the Ponder here, and then I'm going to shuffle for Bayou. I think what I would most like to find is Carpet of Flowers. Carpet of Flowers, and then they just never have a Wasteland, please. Force of Will. Okay. I think I put Force of Will in my hand, or rather on top of the deck, and draw the Polluted Delta, because that way we don't need to show them the Mistrise Village yet. Wasteland is our biggest enemy. No Wasteland. Okay, so they're maybe setting up to cast Uro next turn. Alright, let's draw the Force. Let's play the Lotus Petal here. And let's fetch a tropical island, actually. Having 2 green sources after Doomsday is not too bad. We have Veil. We might want to put a the thing like a carpet in the pile. Alright, let's make the next spell we cast uncounterable. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty sweet. Alright, so they guaranteed are gonna have stuff that beats that interacts, shall we say, with Thassa's Oracle. So we're gonna want to try and win with Jace. That requires, well, it does require quite a lot, because so what happens if I make Carpet of Flowers uncounterable and play that next turn, and then on the subsequent turn I draw Jace. I can make Jace uncounterable, but then what if they have what if they have a Pyroblast? Then I would need Force plus Veil. So I would need 1 more mana. I would need them to fetch something that makes like an island. If they put in another island here, I would be pretty good. I don't think I can afford to put Thassa in here, I think. Or maybe I can. What if they play Uro next turn? Then they're tapped out of red mana. And I have the Brainstorm. Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay, let's try this. Alright, we'll put Edge of Autumn on the bottom, and then Thassa and Street Wraith. And then Jason Carpet. Yeah, let's try this. If they can flash in some kind of threat here, that would be kind of bad for us. Please fetch an island. Please fetch an island. Yes. And Brainstorm. Are they suddenly Reanimator here? What an interesting... If they're not Reanimator, I don't get this. Okay, let's see here. Meticulous Archive. Something goes into the graveyard. They... Oh, okay. I guess there's a method to the madness here. And they just showed us a tropical island. If they play that, that is really, really good. So now we have 4 islands off of our carpet, which of course they don't know about. I think here comes Uro, right? A lot of stuff can still go wrong. Question is, should I try and make carpet, like, just cast it? I think I will. Force of Negation. I'm going to try Veil of Summer. Force. 2 cards left. I'm going to force back. This still kind of ends up the same way. I think they probably have a Veil of Summer here. Yeah. What a shock. I could have tried to make my force uncounterable here, but then my stuff still gets countered. So now I have pass. They have 2 cards left. I'm going to go to 1 life. I'm going to play Jace and... Oh, okay. And they put Forceful on top. GG's. I did half expect for this not to work, so maybe that was just greedy on my part. If I had made the carpet uncounterable, but yeah, then I'm at 1 life. Yeah, I think maybe I should have still done that. Alright, do I want... I think I want Days number 3, but instead of what? Instead of Cabal Ritual, yeah. I mean, that was on a mult of 5, wasn't it? I think it was. That was quite competitive. Oh god, no. Mulligan. Yeah, I'll take this. And I will put Jace, I think, away. Alright. And now Ponder needs to find me lands and or Carpet of Flowers. I still don't trust that they don't have... what do you call it? That they don't have Wasteland. This is a land, but the other 2 cards are just not acceptable. Shuffle. Okay, Brainstorm is fine. Hedge Maze. And they kept the card on top. Ooh, that was very good. I think I Brainstorm here. get rid of Street Wraith and probably Flusterstorm. And then I'm going to fetch Bayou and cast Thoughtseize. Force of Will, Beanstalk, Veil of Summer, and some cantrips. I think I take the Force of Will here. And then I'll be ready to daze that Beanstalk if they choose to play it. There's Volcanic Island. Okay, they ponder. So they rather want to keep up Veil of Summer and then not play into daze. That means if we draw like Carpet or Ritual or Petal, they choose to not shuffle. Okay. We do draw the Petal. Let's try this. Force of Will, pitching Ponder. Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer resolved. Okay, sweet. So that means Doomsday is going to resolve. Let's put in both Thassa and Jace here. Like, if I make this pile, I will be kind of depending on my Carpet resolving. I think I can make this Edge of Autumn into a land I can fetch instead, because it's the same effect. Like it's a card that leaves the deck. Yeah, let's try this. Let's actually try and take this a bit slow, and we'll make Carpet of Flowers uncounterable this time. There is a Brainstorm. Am I interested in dazing this? I don't think so. Play the fetch land, pass. So what am I most... Oh, there is a Wasteland. Now I can't really play out my my Carpet, my Mistrise Village, I mean. Oh, okay, never mind. If they have a second Wasteland, then, you know, it sucks. On this Mistrise Village, then I probably just lose. But, yeah, we'll see. And they're just passing here. Alright, I'll be drawing Jace here. My last card is Thassa. So basically, if they have Pyroblast, they just get to win. I think I'm actually going to wait a second here and go next turn. If they find like Prismatic Ending or Leyline Binding or something for my Carpet, that sucks. Okay, I'm going to draw Thassa here. And I will... Okay, so 1, 2, 3... What's the play here? I don't know. I don't think waiting here has made any difference. The issue is I lose, like, Pyroblast is the only thing that I think that interacts with Jace in there that might be in their hand, whereas we've seen Dress Down and Endurance. Yeah, well, let's trigger this and make blue. And then the thing is I have to fetch to make Jace because they wastelanded me. Otherwise I would have been able to not do that. All right, let's fetch. Their hand is clearly all reactive. So the Pyroblast here kills us because they just Pyroblast Jace with his +1 ability on the stack. But it has to be like, it has to be a removal spell for Jace, basically. And I don't get anything out of waiting, so I am just gonna plus myself here. Or plus Jace on myself. GG's opponent. We lose. Too much hate. Too much hate. All right. That was a disappointing league. 2-3 record. Yeah, those like color overflowing 4 or 5 color decks here. This was I didn't see black, so it was like a 4 color Beanstalk deck. I think we can tune Doomsday to have a really good time versus those decks. But I mean, I feel like I had almost all the tools available to me, and they just still ended up beating me in both of the sideboarded games. Yeah, I think Jace is kind of limited when he is trying to beat any deck that has red blasts available to him, to them, because that's almost the only thing that would realistically be in an opponent's deck that interacts with a resolved planeswalker post Doomsday, like post sideboard against Doomsday. So like bug beans, I think Jace is a lot better, um, and just like a lot of different endurance decks and whatnot. I think Jace is also a lot better. I think against all the Demir decks, Jace is a lot better. But against particularly Red Blast decks, I mean, let's say we had um, Sheldog Isle Emrakul, which is the other sort of way to go about this, then that might be something that still gets kind of gotten by uh, consign to memory. But like if they use the Sheldog Isle pile puts consign to memory and either Jace or Thassa in the pile. So if they consign to memory the hideaway trigger, like when Sheldog enters, then we still have then one consign is gone and we still have an avenue to beat them. But it does seem like they just have so many tools um, to interact with Doomsday. All right, well, like yeah, 2-3, kind of disappointed. The Riddler didn't really get to do a lot. I lost to Doomsday in round one, both post board games. I think I lost one two. I can't remember who won game one, but I lost both games where I tried to win with Riddler. But I think in both situations, it was pretty. I was going to lose regardless. I think because my opponent was sort of showing me the win, or had like interaction, had a force of will on the turn where I could do something. And I don't think Riddler really did a lot against anything else. But that's kind of the nature of being this one-off toolbox slash pile card. I'm not too sure. I'll have to test some more, and maybe get some more sort of set piles in my head where this shines. Yeah, a lot of nearlies and what ifs and whatnot in this league. I hope you had fun. I hope it was enjoyable, and yeah, I'll keep on testing. I'll be back with some more Legacy. Bye bye.